Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we are in the mid of the Ansible journey. Till now we understood about the what is Ansible, how Ansible works, why Ansible is needed, what the architecture of Ansible, and about the playbook, variables, Ansible facts, OHAI, ad hoc command, all these things we have seen till now, variable files, modules, collections. Till now we have seen all these things. So today we will start from the Ansible configuration file. There is a file that is Ansible configuration. So let's move to the screen. Ansible configuration file. There is a file in which all the configuration of the Ansible is written. Okay, and the location of that file is /etc/ansible/ansible.config cfg. This is the file name of Ansible configuration file. So let's move to the practical. We will see there. So here we can check Ansible. This is our control node. We see Ansible installed or not. So Ansible is installed. Now check the inventory file Ansible all list host to inventory target node 1, target node 2, two inventory file is there. So if we will run any command Ansible all attribute A and date. And one more thing, if you will not use any module, as I don't use any module here that write the attribute date, so it automatically consider command as a module. So default command is a module. If you not use any module, then module default module is a command. Okay, so attribute date run on our both the target nodes. So for this what event, this Ansible will go to the inventory, search the inventory, they find out this file, and using SSH connection they went to the target node and run this command on the target node. So they log in through the target node. Now if you remember, when we log in through the target through SSH, they ask some permission. For when we log in first time, they ask some permission and we said yes. At that time they were checking some key, and we give the permission yes, then the sh command works. Let me show you that one also. So like I will show only sh command how this works. So go to the target node. Yeah, target node 1 sh client. We paste this one here. Okay, now using sh we want to connect to our target node 1 from our computer. Okay, so press enter. Now you can see this host key is known by the following other names, addresses. Are you sure you want to continue? So this is checking some host key. Now we provide the permission yes. Now as we provide the permission yes, this is connected. Okay, using the SSH command. Same thing happen here also. When the Ansible SSH to our target node, first they ask the key. First time they ask the key. If we give the permission, then next time this will not ask a key and this will run without asking the key. So if we not provide the permission first time, this will throw an error. So we want to automate this also. So this will not ask the that permission. This is not ask for first time also. This is not ask the permission. This is not check the host key. Okay, so we want to automate this also. And one more thing, we have seen the inventory. What is the location of inventory? As I explained the first lecture, the location of inventory is /etc slash ansible slash host. This is the default location of our inventory. This is our inventory file. Okay, and we wrote to inventory here. Okay, so suppose if we want to change the location of inventory, or we want to change this default location of the inventory to some other another location, so how we will do this also? So we want to change the location of the inventory, one thing, and we want to automate this SSH first time also. So two things is there. Now how we can do this? So for doing that, there is a file that is Ansible configuration file. You can check here Ansible version. Okay, here config file, and location of the config file is etc ansible.config. This is the location of config file. This is the config file. In this config file, all the default address of this host is written. This we can change this one also from this config file. How we will do this? We will see. So we can install Python module. These things Jinja version. As I explained you about Jinja templates. This is Jinja version. Python. I also said that without Python this will not work. So Python is version this one. Jinja version this one. And Ansible collection location, I will explain about this also. Ansible Python module location, all the modules are stored in this one. As you already see, this is the collection location, all the collection are stored in this file. Executable location, I will explain this later. Okay, so first we go to this file. This is the file where we can change the location of inventory, we can automate the host key. This is the file. Nothing is written in this file. This file is empty right now. Okay. This is empty file. So we have to write this file so we can automate this one. Okay. So we have to write this file. For that, check Ansible. Collection become user become list role become Ansible. Somewhere Ansible config is written. You can check it. Ansible config is written. Somewhere it will written Ansible config. Okay, it is somewhere it is written Ansible config. So we can check Ansible config. We can check help Ansible config help. Yeah, Ansible config help. Here Ansible config version. This one view Ansible configuration position arguments. There are four arguments: list, dump, view, and init. Ansible config list print all config option, dump configuration, view configuration file, create initial configuration. So first we'll check the Ansible config list. Check it. List. It lists all the options supported by the file. In Ansible file, what are the options supported? That all options is shown here. We can write all the options. We can write all the options if we required those options. Okay. So in this option we can check as inventory file is there, so we can find out the inventory. This is a long file, so we can search. For searching we use the forward slash and we can search inventory forward slash inventory, then press enter. You can see here description comma separated list of Ansible inventory sources. Here you see key is inventory and section is default. Okay, and this ini name inventory source type path list by YAML default. Okay, you see here this thing you can see. Key is inventory and the section is default. Now, what is INI? INI. INI is a format. In this INI format, the whole Ansible configuration file is written. Okay, key is inventory. This is inventory, and the section is default. So in default section, inventory key is written. Okay, in default section, inventory key is written, and you can see here. Okay, take it all. Take it all things. Now here see default host list is here, and here the default part of the inventory is Ansible host. This is the default path of inventory. If we want, we can change description comma separated list of Ansible inventory sources. Ansible name is Ansible inventory, key is inventory, section is default, and the format is INI. Okay, in INI format is written, and the default path is etc Ansible host. This is default path. So in default section, we can change the path of inventory. If we change there this inventory path, then whatever location we give in that, from that location the inventory will fetch. Now one more thing, that host checking was there, so we can check host, sorry, host checking, Control Z, install config list, host checking. Okay, search it, pattern not found. Okay, host host, only check the host. One host is there, one host is there. If you press the N, then it will say host checking. You can check another host key. Yeah, host key. Yeah, here host key is here. Host key, host key is host key checking, and the section is default. You can check key is host key checking. Here key is inventory, section is default. Here is key is host key checking, and section is default. So we will write in default section, we will write this inventory key, and we will write this host key checking. Inventory key will change the location of the inventory file. Host key checking will, if we make it false, then it will SS will not check the key in first time. Okay, so we can write the Ansible configuration file, and the Ansible configuration file is, location of the Ansible config file is, location of the Ansible configuration file is /etc ansible /ansible.cfg. Okay, press enter. This is the file. Now in this file we can go for default section. Write the default section, defaults, and write the inventory. Inventory equal to slash root slash, we will write my db.txt file. Okay, and the next key is host key checking, make it false, and save it. Now check Ansible all list hosts. What one unable to parse the root my db.txt as inventory source. Now you can see the location of the inventory source is changing. Now this is the location of the inventory. You can check with path here, it is root. Now we can make the file here. Vim my db, we can copy the inventory. We can copy slash etc slash ansible slash host to slash root slash mydb.txt file. Okay, it's happened. Now check cat mydb.txt, and in this file you can say 2. In mydb.txt this 2 is written. Now check the host. Now you can see this host come from the mydb.txt. Okay, so the inventory file has changed and the key checking is changed. Now two things changed. As we have seen, this host coming from the mydb.txt as inventory, and the first time Ansible will not check the host key. Okay, now come to again Ansible config help. We see list. In list it print all the supported parameters of the configuration file. Now dump view. In view, what is view? View configuration file. So we can check Ansible config view. Yeah, it show our configuration file. Whatever we write, it show the configuration file. Now what happened? We change here two things. Two things of the configuration file we change. So only two things will be changed. Otherwise, rest of the things, whatever was the default, that work. In Ansible configuration, whatever is default will work, and we write two things in this file, so only these two things will be changed. Okay, like that this Ansible configuration file is working. Now again check help. We see list view dump configuration. What is dump? Check it. Dump. You see a lot of things is here. So in dump, all the default keywords show here. All the default, whatever default file is, their keyword is there and their value assigned, all will show in this dump. Okay, we have changed the inventory config. We have changed the config file, so it's so in the yellow color. Otherwise, whatever is default, they show in the green color, and whatever is changed, that's show in the yellow color. You can see inventory also changed, so inventory will also, yeah, default host list Ansible config inventory host list is changed, default host list is changed to this one, so this is also in yellow color. Host key checking also you can see host key checking Ansible we also changed this one. otherwise it is default, it is taking from the default, it is taking from the default, and we change where we change in Ansible configuration file, we change it, so it is taking from the Ansible configuration file and it is so here. So whatever we write in the Ansible configuration file, that will fetch from the Ansible, and whatever is not written in that file, that the default selection is there, then Ansible select default parameter of that keyword. Okay, if we change anything, then Ansible will go to the configuration file. From here the Ansible will check whatever things written in there, they perform those things, and the things which are not written there, then they select it by default value. So you see in default, in dump, all the default keyword is written. Okay, now init create initial configuration file. So if we write in it, it will create whole configuration file of the Ansible with all the default value, and with all the default value it will create and print on our console. See, this is the file defaults. Under default section you can see become password, become you can see in facts collection, you can see inventory also. I will so call back or we can search it inventory. Yeah, you can see inventory, default inventory is etc ansible host. So this create whole configuration file with default value in it will create. So we can do one thing. If we want to change something in this file, then we can create this file and store in the Ansible config file, and then we can go there and we can change the value, any value from there. So how we can do this? We can this Ansible config init, and where we have to store it in etc ansible.cfg. This is the file. So this will print, and using this command this will store in this Ansible config file. Yeah, it is stored. Now we check the Ansible config file, etc slash ansible config. Okay, now you can see the whole file is written in this Ansible configuration file. Okay, everything is written here. Whatever you want to change, you can. every keyword with default every keyword with default value is written here. If you want to change anything, you can change here. Okay, so now check Ansible version. Oh, what happened? Now this time this is throwing one error. Invalid type of configuration option setting default gather timeout. What happened? This is saying that all the files, all the default functions which was in our configuration file, that is not supported by our system. This system is not supported all the keywords with the default value. So that's why this Ansible version is not working here. So for that, what we can do, we can clean whole file. How we will clean whole file? So cat write the file and press Ctrl D. Now check Ansible version. Yeah, now this is working. What happened? This time this file becomes empty. Right now this file becomes empty. Okay, so this file becomes empty, and That's why this is working. Now how do we do this? So first come to Ansible init, check the help. Check help here. Here you see one keyword is disabled. What is this doing disabled? Prefix all the entries with a comment character to disable them. If I will use this disabled keyword, then the whole file will read, write, and the whole file will commented and print on our console. Okay, so we can check by writing this one disabled, disablet. Now whole file will be commented. You see, whole file is commented. So now we can copy all these keywords with comment into our configuration file, and whatever things required we will uncomment that one and use that one. So how do we do this one? And so disabled this one /etc/ slash ansible slash ansible.config. Now this time this file is written, and you can check Ansible version also. This time if you will check the Ansible version, this is working. Go to that file. Now you can see all the keywords with comment it is written with comments, all the keywords. So we want to check the inventory. Come to inventory, it is showing here. Okay, it is here inventory. Press I. This is the inventory equal to what is our inventory root mydb.txt and uncomment this. Now what is second thing? Host key checking. Okay, host key checking. You can uncomment this. It is true, so make it false. Now two things is changed. Now this file will work same as it was working before. Check the Ansible version, and it is showing it is perfect, working fine. Now check the host. Is it taking from the mydb or not? Sorry, mydb.txt or not? So it is taking from the mydb.txt. Okay, so you saw the Ansible configuration file, inventory, how to change the inventory, how to avoid the first time key checking of the SSH first time. Now we will see some different thing. Okay, till now we were working with the root account here root account in inventory. We working with the root account, but if you will go for production, in production root account of the control node is disabled. Why root account is disabled? Because root account has all the privilege access. So if it is enabled, then might be anyone can hack the server or do some different things, and many reasons for that root account is disabled and the normal account is created. normal user is there, and that work normal user is work for the all the things whatever we have did using root account normal user will do. So for that what we have to do, we have to create a normal user, and using that normal user we will see all the things. If we will create the normal user, then there is some challenges. What is that challenges with normal user? There is some challenges with normal user. Normal user can do all the work is done by root account. Okay, except two files. One is slash etc slash ansible slash host. Normal user cannot write this file, and normal user cannot write this file ansible.cfg. If normal user cannot write this file ansible.cfg, then how they will change the location of the host? For this, as as we have seen there, host location can be changed, and it host location can be changed, so we can change the host location in Ansible configuration file, but for that we have to write the Ansible configuration file also. But normal user does not have power to write the Ansible configuration file. Okay, so let's come to our control node and make one normal user. Write the name of the user, you can write anything, write Eric. User add Eric. Okay, then set the password Eric. Password set successfully. Now change the user. Yeah, user changed to Eric. Now here if we want to write the etc etc ansible slash hosts. Okay, if we want to write this file, write anything dot something dot this one. Okay, try to save it. Read only option is set. Normal user cannot write this file. Okay, so quit it. Sorry. Okay, it's not written. Now check this file vim slash etc slash ansible slash ansible configuration file, and uncomment this one. Now save it. Try to save it. Read only option is set. You cannot override this file. You cannot write this file. So close it forcefully. Normally you cannot write the etc host file, cannot write the ansible.config file. Okay, two things. Two file is there that is not written by the normal user. Otherwise, all the things, whatever things is available in the Ansible, all the things can be done by the normal user. There is no any issue, no any problem. But these two files are not cannot access by the normal user. So what we can do? For that we can do that we can make one file in any location for the host and provide that host file to the configuration file, but for that also we need to write the configuration file, but we can't write the configuration file. So first make one file mydb.txt. Okay, and here write the 172.31.3.209 Ansible user is root and the Ansible password is Red Hat. Okay, same 172 dot, you can check the IP address of the instances. One 172.31.3.209 for target node 1, and for target node 2 it is 172.31.12.50. 172.31.12.50. 172.31.12.50. Ansible user is root. Ansible password is Red Hat. Okay, we made this file. Now we have to write the location of this file where in the configuration file. How do we do this? How do we do this? So for doing this, as I explained you that we can write the Ansible configuration whole configuration file using the init command that will print. So we can write all that one in one configuration file. Okay, in this location. So write that one. How to write? Ansible config init disabled. Okay, now write this in a file ansible.cfg. Okay, now here two files, one is mydb.txt, one is ansible.cfg. Two files is there built. Now Ansible is intelligent. If we run from any normal user and the Ansible configuration file ansible.cfg file is there, then the Ansible first check this file. If in this file something is changed, anything we change, then they perform according to that. Then Ansible will go to the default file that is location in this location, and then they check this location file. If anything is changed here, then they work on according to that, and then rest of things they will select as a default value. Okay, so first they will check ansible.cfg file is there or not. If it is there, then the Ansible will work according to that file. Okay, so first we can check here Ansible list hosts. What happened? Sorry, Ansible or list host. It is from here. It is coming from the previous file, whatever we write here. We can change something in this file, so we can able to see. Okay, we read this one. Okay, now come to this file vim ansible.cfg file, come to inventory. This is the this is the inventory location. Okay, change this slash Eric slash home slash my db.txt and uncomment it. Okay, now check host key checking. Yeah, host key checking, uncomment it, make it false. Okay, it is safe. pwd check location, sorry, home slash eric. We have to change this one. Inventory, what, host key checking. Yeah, inventory is here. First home, I first home, then Eric. This is the location of the file. Okay, and save it. Now check this. Yeah, you can see this is coming from this file mydb.txt, and this file location we change where in this configuration file. So Ansible first check this configuration file. If anything is changed here, then they will work according to that. Then Ansible will check the default configuration file. So now normal user can also write the configuration file, write the inventory, and perform all the things whatever can root user can perform. So for control node this is clear. Now the thing is that target node root is also cancelled in production. Here also normal user work. Okay, normal user configuration is given. So for target node also we have to create normal user, and normal user should perform all the tasks whatever is till now performed by the root user. So we how this will happen, we will see. We create normal user and we will see all those things. So come to our target node, come to one target node. I think it has lose the connection. Connect it, SSH. This is target node 2. Paste it here. It asks the permission. Yes. Okay. Switch user to root. Now do one thing. Create here one normal user. How to create user? Add. What should be? You want to write the name. Write the name DevOps. DevOps. Now set password for DevOps. Password is set. Come to the control node and we have to change the inventory. Change the inventory. This is the okay. DevOps is the normal user. Okay. Delete this one. Now we want to run some task on the our normal user. Switch to normal user DevOps, run here some command, date, it's working, who am I, it's working, ID, it's working. These are the things working, the normal user. You, so go to our target node and here Ansible 172.31.12.50 is IP and the date. Yeah, on this IP, DevOps is the normally DevOps is the user as wrote in the inventory, so DevOps user is working. You can check which user, who am I. It will say the DevOps. Okay, we can check the ID. It is working. Okay. Now these small commands are working. Now we want to install the HTTP software here. For that we know the command am install httpd. Whatever, it's filled, not root. Subscription management subscription not root. Okay, and as we know it, this will ask one time. This is asking yes or no. So we can write with yes flag also. Maybe this is the error. No, then also it is not working. It is saying not root subscription management today not updated. It is saying that. It is saying that DevOps user does not have the power to run this command yum install httpd. We can check from here also. We try to run here yum install httpd dash y flag error root subscription management repository not updated. So this user does not have the power to run the yum command. For that, what we have to do, we have to update the sudo file. In sudo file, we have to write the DevOps. So how we can do in sudo files can only written using the root user. Only root user has the access to write the sudo file. Go switch user to root password. Yeah. Now you can write the sudo file etc sudoers. Okay, this is the sudo file. Here you can see root user has all the access. Only root user is there in the sudo file. So in this file you have to add one more user, DevOps, and for all from for all services from any source. Now what service? So we want which service? Yum service. Right here yum. Save it. Okay. Now again use this command. Again this field. So as we write in the sudo file, so we have to use the sudo command before this one. So we use the sudo command before this one, press enter. Now what is happening? Whenever we use the sudo in normal user, the console will ask one password, sudo password. But here there is no any way to provide the password. So what we have to do? We have to update this file, and here we have to write no passwd, no password for yum. Okay, here we write no password for yum. sorry, save it. Now go to our root user and again run this file. Now what is happening? Again it is stuck. Why this is stuck? Okay, let's check why this is stuck. Come to our this tight node, check this file. Yeah, actually the thing is that you have to provide the whole path of the yum. So how you will provide the whole path of yum? You know, yeah, whole path of yum you don't know, so use which command, which yum. This will say whole path of the yum. Copy it. Okay, and sudo file, here use the whole path for m. Okay, save it. Sorry, save it. Now again run here this sudo yum install. Yeah, now this worked. Now this httpd is installed. Updating subscriptions repository, unable to read until last minute, upgrading, these are the upgrade 5 packages, downloading packages httpd and httpd installed in this. You can check rpm q httpd. Yeah, it's installed. Okay, but now this command is worked, and this we use the whole command, but as we know what is Ansible, here we explain only, we say what to do, not explain how to do. But right now here we write all the commands, so we don't want to write all these things, and we want to write module package and attribute here name is httpd. We want this should work, state should be present. Now we want this command should work. This command and the previous one both will do the same thing. This command and this command both will do the same thing. So we want from this command this should work. Then press enter, and this should also work. But what happened? Ansible fact this code interpreter Python, it is throwing some error. So this is not working. Now what happened? As we write here sudo, this is the command, this command works because it required only yum command location. But in this thing there are lot of commands are there inside the yum, and in background lots of command is running if we use this one, and we didn't provide all the commands location there. That's why this is failed. So what we'll do, we can write this file again. And this time instead of m we will write all. Okay, now we try to run this command. I think this should work. Still Ansible facts code interpreter Python, still this command does not has to be run under the root user. Okay, there is some issue still with this command. Okay, so it is showing error that this command has to be run under the root user, and we are running using the DevOps user. So what should we have to do? Now here the concept of privilege escalation came. Means privilege escalation, there is some keyword that make our normal user account to as a root user, and normal user account will work as a root user. And what are that privilege escalation? We will see. We will see in Ansible here, Ansible help. We can see. We can see one become run operation with become does not employ password prompting. One is become user, that is become user. So one is become, come to here, one is become, another one is become user, another one is, let's check another one, what is become user method, and another is, what is another, privilege escalation operation control how and which user you become as a target host. Okay, using this you have to make which user as a target host. So become method, privilege escalation method to use default sudo use ansible doc to become L to list valid choices, become user, run operation as this user, default root, run operation with become does not employ password. So become user, what is become user? Default value is root. If I will use this become user, then our our DevOps user will work as a root user. Okay, or either if we use the become method, so become method default is sudo, so the all the commands will run with the sudo. And if we use only become, then this make our DevOps user as a become user. Here default value is root, or if you want to write any user, then that will work with like that user, and become will make our DevOps user as a root user. So we will run this, we try to run this Ansible package. Okay, become B E become. Now this is work as a root user, and I think this should work. Now this is working. As we write the become, DevOps has all the access of the root user, and this work as a root user, and this is working. Okay. If we use become user, default value is root, so this again this will work. Sorry, what is this? Become user. Yeah, same. Become user. What went? We have to provide the value become user, and value should be root. Now this should work. This doesn't work. This command has to return another root user. Okay, become makes our user as a root. Become user we have to provide the name of the root user, which user we want to work with that one. Become user, why this is okay. Default value is sudo. So before all the command, this sudo is will work. Okay, before all the commands, sudo will work in become user, and become user run operation as this user default value is root BECUMEUSER. What become user root. Sorry, as you have seen, become works as a, if we write become, this our DevOps user becomes the root. Okay, become method, there's so much methods. So sudo is the default. If we use the become method, then sudo will work as a method. Okay, so like this our command will work. Now how this, if we don't want to write it here, then what we have to do? We will write this in our privilege access in our Ansible config file. How to write? Check, write the Ansible config file, vim Ansible config file. Now we have to find out the become. Become, check, yeah, it is here, become, and it is false. Make it true. Make it true. Okay. Now run this without this one. Enter. I think this will work. Yeah, this is work. What happened? Our user becomes the root user, and this is command is working. So this is the way our control node is all. In control node, we change root user to normal user, and normal user is working. In target node also we change root user to normal user, and normal user is working as a fine. So in this lecture we have seen about the Ansible configuration file in very detailed, and in next session we will see more things, more about the Ansible. So till then, bye bye, thank you.